Hello friends. So very good afternoon all of you. If you are able to hear me and see me nicely, let me know by writing in the chat box EF that everything fine. Just we can write in the chat box EF. Okay, thank you so much. So maybe some of our friends will be joining soon, and today is our second session of Mantra of Life, and the discussion name is Discover the Manual of Life. So yesterday, very important session of identifying our own self or discovering our inner self that we discussed, and we discussed that we are not something material, we are beyond material, we are not just ordinary, right? We are not just matter, we are beyond matter. And today we are going to discuss the source of all knowledge. What is the absolute and perfect source of all knowledge? So before that I go ahead, I just like to have a small little prayer. Hope you could also join with me. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. Okay, so I'm quickly going to share with you the slide. So here it go, and before that we go ahead, we have a small little recap for yesterday's session, and some of you might write also something that what we discussed in the previous session, and that will be very much inspiring and encouraging for all of us, right? You could write down some few points what you remember. So we discussed in the previous session that we are not just this body. Our whole system is made up of three things. What is that? First is called gross body, then there is subtle body, then there is called soul. And where we see the gross body and subtle body both are changeable. Gross body is made up of five things: earth, water, fire, air, ether. And subtle body is made up of three things: mind, intelligence, and false ego. But inside both the bodies, there is one eternal soul, and that soul is never, it's unchanging, never going to die, never going to be born. There could not be any change with that, and that is the spiritual point of view of seeing every living entity. And also we saw the contrast difference between a robot, a robo, and a human being. So there can never be a time when human being would be able to achieve that they would be able to create something like human being or living entity into laboratory, because there is requirement of soul, and soul is something which cannot be produced by default. Okay, so soul is something which cannot be produced or cannot be made by someone. Soul is ever existing, ever immutable, and ever existing. There was no time t is equal to something when soul was created, and never going to be time when there will be no more soul. And soul, and we are always existing. Isn't it such a such a wonderful understanding that we are ever existing, we are beyond time. Okay, so that's very marvelous understanding of our own self has been mentioned. Where it has been mentioned? That's mentioned in great literatures of Vedas. So this all knowledge, the source of all knowledge is Veda, and there is depth of knowledge like more deeper than Mariana Girth, Mariana Trench. So there is unlimited knowledge. Knowledge is unlimited, but how it is absolutely mentioned and it's stored into the storehouse, a treasure house, unlimited treasure house of knowledge, that is called Veda, that we are going to see today. So discover manual of life, access truth beyond defects. So Today we shall today once again I am announcing in front of you that I will be going very swift. So for that reason you should be very much alarmed, very much like attentive, so that you could write down your points. And also in the last section of our today's discussion we'll have a quiz, and that quiz, if you are attempting that quiz, then automatically your attendance will be there, and that will be very much helpful for you and me also to really assess your performance and assess your attendance. So now let's go ahead to this session. So how Vedas are indefatigable. So we see how nowadays so many different scientific researches are coming in line with the Vedic facts which has been told millions of years before. Has been not told, but it has been known to the people from time of yours. There is no time when Veda was not there. So all facts are being corroborated once again by modern scientists. Like you can see Jagdish Basu, uh, he invented he not invented, but he found he that that plants are also having soul. Plants are also living beings, but just some 150 years before, people were understanding that plants have no soul. Plants are no, they are not living beings. There is embryology, the whole science. I personally have read that section of Srimad Bhagavatam. I was shocked to see that how much great detail the embryology is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. From time of conception in the womb of mother till the time of delivery, what are the different processes, what are the different stages a child goes into womb, into embryo. Everything is so much keen and so much explicitly mentioned. And also we see cow dung, cow products. The Vedic India Ayurvedic Health Center and Ayurveda is being read by so many people, right? Vedic mathematics, Vedic cosmographic astronomy, ancient Indian metallurgy, and there is also called Vimana Shastra, which deal with aeroplanes. So those airplanes are more advanced than nowadays airplanes, which runs upon fuel. But those aeroplanes used to run by the power of sun, sunlight. Organic farming, so Vastu, then soul concepts, astrologers, all the whatever science is available in the universities around the globe, whatever science, on the name of science, like so many different faculties, right? Different departments. Like there could be metallurgy, there could be chemical engineering, there could be computer science, there could be arts, there could be science, pure science, there could be so many things, but everything is mentioned in the Vedas. So this is the Vedic mathematics. So now let's go ahead. What we are going to discuss today, we are going to discuss a very wonderful story of 6 blind men and 1 wise man. Then we are going to see 3 ways to gaining knowledge. Then 4 defects leads to how the 4 defects leads to imperfect knowledge. Then scientific research, can it offer complete knowledge for us? Then Vedas offer us the perfect and complete knowledge. So these 5 things we are going to discuss today. So now let's go to a small little story of elephant and 4 blind men. 5 blind men, right? So sorry, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blind men. So these 6 blind men, they wanted to know about elephant. So they thought that we should go rather to the elephant, and we could understand by touching the elephant, because they all are blind. So some of them, they got upon the back of the elephant. One of them was holding tusk of elephant. Somebody was holding the leg of elephant, and they were trying to realize, trying to think that how could this elephant looks like. So the person who has rode on the back of elephant, he is thinking that this elephant is nothing but a spear. So somebody is thinking, a person who is holding a trunk of the elephant is thinking that it's a very fat snake. One person who is holding the tail, he is thinking that this is nothing but a rope, very thick rope. So like this, and a person who is just touching the belly is thinking that this is nothing but a wall, always shaking wall. So like this, different person is confused. So now it's question to all of you: how do you think they can gain complete and perfect knowledge about the elephant? So how you think that this six blind men can get the complete and perfect knowledge? Are they getting complete and perfect knowledge? Yes. What you say? Yes? No? Surely not. So how they are going to get that we'll be discussing in the subsequent slides. Everybody is saying no. Exactly. So how they are going to get it? By going to a person who have the eyes, right? That's the way. So what is the eye? From where we can get that eye? That whole details is here. So now let's go to how to gain the knowledge. So usually there are three ways of gaining knowledge. To gain knowledge, there are three ways. What are the three ways? Those three ways are categorized into those ways are categorized into three sections. First is called Pratyaksha Praman. The people, they try to get knowledge through Pratyaksha Praman, means direct sense perception. That is called seeing is believing, right? I see that outside of my window there is rain, water droplets coming down from the sky, means there is rain. So I am seeing, I am able to believe it. Similarly, then there is second called Anuman Praman. Theory is based upon observation, guessing. Okay, it could be like this, it could be like that. Suppose if I am a blind man and outside there is some hissing sound coming, zig, 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 and then I have to guess, right? What it could be, whether it's raining or maybe there is a gush of air flowing here, maybe uh, some TV serial is going, or what's going. Like we have to guess that. So this is also another way of gaining knowledge called Anuman Praman. Then third is called Shabda Praman, means hearing from bona fide authority. Hear from bona fide authority who has actually the authority upon knowledge. Okay, so there is something called authority upon knowledge. So what is that authority we will be saying? So first we are going to see Pratyaksha Praman, direct sense perception. So can this direct sense perception means seeing is equal to believing. जो देखा वो समझा, and whatever we see, whatever we saw, that we understood that yes, this is this. Okay, so there are so many things what we see that actually is not like that. How we are seeing, like you can find in railway track nowadays, people hardly they go to our railway stations and to see the railway tracks, but you will find that two railway tracks, parallel railway tracks, are going, and far off they are going and merging together. So do you think that those two railway tracks are going and merging together? Of course not. They are never going to merge, but we are able to see that. If a small little kid will be crossing the railway tracks with his father, what he will say, Papa, these two railway tracks are going so far and going merging there, isn't it? And father will laugh, ha ha ha. No man, they are not merging. They are just simply going, and because you are not able to see that. So whatever we are seeing could not be correct. So different types of mirror we use, we see ourselves differently. Some mirror shortens our height, some mirrors elongates us, distorted reflections. When we used to be child, then we used to have display, putting some pencil into glass, water glass, and you used to see that pencil has broken. Hey, see, this pencil has broken. But that's nothing but a refraction. Because of that we are seeing something. And nowadays people still many times we get puzzled still now when you go in a summer season on a national highway, and from far off you see trucks and roads and trucks and different cars are moving, and you find that there is some water sprayed on the road. What is that? Is that water or something else? Yeah, you can answer maybe, like what is that, what we see there, is that water or something else? Oh, So Manak Ganguly is telling, yes, that is mirage. Okay, and of course that's because of hot air. So somebody is saying, Akash Bachar is saying total internal reflection. It's not TIR, but it's called refraction. Because of that, we are able to see mirage. So in this way, there are many things which doesn't exist and that we are able to see. Right? These things are not existing, but we are able to see that. So we cannot acquire complete knowledge using what these material senses like eyes, ears, all those faculties. The five knowledge acquiring senses having their shortcomings. Eyes are having some shortcomings, ears are having shortcomings, our tongue is having shortcomings, our skins are having shortcomings, our nose are having shortcomings. All these five faculties of getting knowledge is actually defective. So what are those defects? Now we are going to see one by one. So this is mentioned in Vedanta that our senses are having defects. What are the four defects? The first is that our senses are imperfect, and because of that we get illusioned. We get illusioned. One thing we see in a different way. Like see here, there is face. In the middle one you can find here the middle face like this one. So this face, this face you are able to see here. One way you can see that this is a face seeing toward east side to or maybe the right side, and another way if you'll see, then you will find that no, this is the half face of someone seeing seeing in front of seeing in front side, right? So this is the only one photo which you can find in the two way. So this is called second, to be illusion. Then comes third one, tendency to commit mistakes. Then comes cheating propensity. So we are having our senses imperfect, because of that we get illusion. Then we commit mistakes, and then to somehow patch up those mistakes, we try to cheat. So these four defects are there with every human being, whether he is a great scientist, like you name it, you name them, any scientist, all of them are by bond having these four defects. So now let's go ahead, let's see first one by one, what are those different defects? Imperfect senses. So our senses are imperfect. A very famous example of this what's called that electromagnetic waves. So electromagnetic waves are the unlimited electromagnetic waves ranges, right? Different ranges of frequency. 10 to the power of minus 12 meter to 10 to the power of 12 meter. So from cosmic rays to broadcast band rays, all are having different bandwidth, different frequencies also. But among all of that, we are able to see only visual range that comes from 4 to 7 nanometer. So beyond that, beyond ultraviolet and beyond infrared, we are not able to see. So this is the eye, like upon which we are so much proud. I could see anything, whatever I see, that I believe. So our eyes are having such a defects that we cannot see things beyond ultraviolet and infrared. But there are cats, there are dogs, there are different animals. They can see something beyond, something beyond. So there could be some person in front of us which radiates ultraviolet, whose body reflects ultraviolet only. It won't reflect the visual range. Then we will not be able to see him, right? That's why we see many times what happens when tsunami comes, when the different types of big earthquake comes. Then these cats, these dogs, the different animals, they start shouting, wow, wow, like this. And people are not, human beings are not able to understand that why they are shouting. But those animals are able to sense some radiations, some types of, some kind of people who are going to create some disturbances. So this is simply that how our senses are imperfect, right? Our ears are deaf beyond 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, right? Similarly, our senses are having so many defects. Somebody can say, if senses have limitations, I can use instruments to get more knowledge of the world. We can have instruments also. But last century, 20th century, one very big scientist, Nobel Prize winner scientist. His name was Eugen Wigner. He tells, and even if we photograph stars, eventually we have to take in our senses what the photo shows. Furthermore, without our senses, we cannot handle a camera. So, whatever knowledge we are getting, of course, from magnified instruments, still those information and knowledge has to go from our defective senses only. So, anything getting processed with defective senses will surely have defects. There is no doubt about that. So, now let us go to second, we get illusion. Simple example here. If you take gulab jamun and after that you take orange, what will happen? Orange will be like so much sour, so much sour. But if you take lemon, the small lemon, the real lemon, and after that you take orange, that same orange will be tasting very sweet. Similarly, if we touch after from the hot place, bring your hand and touch your some cold water, then you will find very much cooling effect. But the same hand, if you get from freeze or from AC and get to the normal temperature water, and that water you will feeling that it's quite hot, right? So now there are some more observations, work to do from your side. Now you have to see pictures and you have to find out something. So here you have some picture here. There is one picture out here. You are able to see this picture here. Now you have to find out that what you are able to see in this picture. Okay, what you are able to see in this picture. If you are able to see anything in this picture, please write in the chat box that you are able to see. Okay, so then quickly we shall discuss. Yeah, what you are able to see in this particular picture. Yes, anyone? I think you are able to see something, right? Hopefully you are able to see something. Okay. Rishabh is telling an old woman, a person looking opposite to us. Sunanda Acharya is telling a boy and a leaf, a boy and a leaf. Okay, and yes, an old lady. Subrata Shahana is saying an old lady. Okay, yes. So see, there are two people into this photo. There is of course one old lady, and of course there is one young girl also. Okay, how many of you are able to see young girl? If you are able to see young girl, write in the chat box why. Y for young. If you are able to see old woman, then write in the chat box O. Yes. And how many of you are able to see both O and Y? Subrata is able to see both O and Y. And some of you are not able to see either old or either Y. Okay, Puranjay is able to see both. Okay, so some of you have able to see both, but after such a big, observation, such a keen observation, you are able to see both. So of course there are two person, old lady and young girl also. So here you can see young girl's nose is tip of the old lady's nose. Young girl's chin is tip of the nose of old lady. You are able to see? Yeah. So both of them are there. So now similarly we have different observations, right? So here you find that what is this? Somebody can say this is a triangle, but there is no triangle here, right? This is nothing but three circles cut in a way so that you start perceiving that there is a triangle, but there is no triangle. Okay, come on. What you are able to see here? Yes. What all of you are able to see here? You can write in the chat box if possible. Yeah. This is an optical illusion. Two guitarists. Anything else? Mainak Ganguly is telling two guitarists. Okay. What else? What else? Only that? Yes. Anybody of you? Two musicians and an old couple. Okay. Two musicians and an old couple, of course. One old lady and old man. Okay. two old persons, two guitarists, and one girl. Okay, Arindam Karmakar is smart. He is telling that two old person, of course, two old person, one old lady, one old man is there. Subhajit Chakravarti, a guitarist, and two old people. Okay, so see, this is called illusion. From very far off, you'll find that there are only two old couple. But if you go closer, then you'll find that there are some more details there inside. So, according to our orientation, also truth changes. So, this is another illusion. If you rotate your eyes, or if you move your eyes like this, you find that this pattern is moving. How many of you are able to see the pattern is moving? If you are able to see pattern is moving, then write in the chat box M for moving. Yeah. So, but this is not moving. This is intact. Okay. So similarly, we find here that no, if you move like this, then in this pattern also you will find that this pattern is moving. Pattern is moving, right? But this is intact. This is not moving. Now this is a photo. You have to see into the center, and you have to do to and fro motion like this. To and fro motion. What you are able to see? What you are able to see? You can write in the chat box what you are able to see. Yes? Yes? Anything you are able to see? Are you able to see moving? Rotating, one is rotating clockwise, another circle is rotating anti-clockwise, right? Yeah, but actually they are not rotating. So see how our eyes are cheating us. So all our senses have tendency to get illusion because this is imperfect, and that's how we get illusion. So now we are into our next section of defects, to commit mistakes, and we commit mistakes. Very often we commit mistakes. Forget about scientific mistakes. There are multi mistakes. Every research now is going to get into dustbin after 10 years. Do you believe it or not? How many of you believe it? Every research found, like whatever findings of researches now, is going to get into dustbin after 10 or 15 years. If you are agree with me, then write in chat box agree. And how it is so, I can tell you. Yeah, this is sure. The circle is okay. So brain was some years before, brain was thought to be an organ to cool the blood, but later on they could understand no, this is nothing like that. There's a very much complex nervous system there in the brain. Similarly, to find out difference the distance between stars, the scientists, they given a Hubble constant, but this Hubble constant is always keep changing so much that now they have made the term Hubble variable. So now when we get illusion, then what we do, we cheat others, because our defects will come out for the public to know, and public will laugh upon us. So people, they create cheating frauds. So cheating in science, there are a lot many cheating has been seen. Similarly, there is one Piltdown man hoax. So what is this? I will go very quickly about this. You know, Darwin has told, and so many different evolutionists have told that we have come from monkeys. Until now, they couldn't make even one monkey. I mean, there one missing link between monkey and human being. So what did they do? They filed some jaws of different animals and they kept in British Museum to show that this is missing link. But ultimately, it was rechecked, and it was known for everyone that it was a big hoax. It was a very big cheating. A fraud was revealed. So like this, there are different. So this is one small little video. Okay, I will send this to your WhatsApp group so that you could see here there. I'm going quickly ahead. So now let's go to second section, Anuman Praman, theories based upon observation, guesswork. So how this is also defective. It may have been like this, or perhaps it was like that. So this is called Anuman Praman, and the Acharya of Anuman Praman is Charles Darwin. So this Charles Darwin is a person who guessed like, like crazy, like crazy. He guessed about something, and people started following him also like crazy. So in his book called Origin of Species, he has written that I'm a firm believer that without speculation there is no good and original observation. After 5 year work, I allowed myself to speculate on the subject and drew up some short notes. These I enlarged in 1844 into a sketch of conclusions which seemed to me probable. Right? So this is what we see here. Dr. I know this Darwin is telling that what he's telling, he is a firm believer that without speculation is guessing. There is no good and original observation. You cannot observe without speculation, he's telling. So speculation is having so much faith of. 5 years is simply what he did, speculated. Once again, speculation here. Myself to speculate on the subject and drew up some short notes. These I enlarged in 1844. So this is all about speculation, what he did, and how he speculated that human beings have evolved from monkeys. But record of the rocks are telling something else. Every strata of the rocks, every strata of the digging, you people have found, archaeologists have found that there are skulls of human beings as well as of monkeys. Every strata, right? So see, 2 million and 1.5 million, 1 million, 400,000, 100,000, every strata, there were always human beings and always there are apes. Okay, so by this we can understand. But according to Darwin, just 10,000 years before, all humans were apes or monkeys. But now it has been already, this Darwin theory has been put in dustbin. And because Darwin theory has been put in dustbin, so many different so-called scientists, they are finding that, however, money will come from governments. So they have now founded a neo-Darwinism. Okay, just to just speculating and just giving some patch-up theory, and they are now have created neo-Darwinism. But it's all based upon this such a fraud speculation and thinking about that we have come from monkeys. So that's actually not true. See how Darwin has told that how this whale has come from beer. So whale has originated from beer. He told that once what happened, there was very uh, less amount of flies were there on the earth, and bears were started starving, and flies were started moving toward ocean. Is all speculation, like fairy tale, बच्चों की कहानी. And bears started running toward the ocean to search to run toward just to get some flies. So they moved into the ocean, and they opened their mouth like this and kept open like this for so many years. For millions and millions of years they kept running, beers after beers, generations of beers. And all of a sudden what happens, their size increased more and more, their mouth increased more and more, and they turn into well. Wow, such a childish story, and the people are believing like anything. And similarly, he told that giraffe, there are zebras, and giraffe they had problem, zebras had problem to catching up, you know, tall tree leaves. So they started stretching their neck, and some of them could stretch, and they became giraffe. And those who could not stretch, they died. But we see zebras are still there. And water, the giraffe cannot take water on the tree, right? Water has to be taken down only. So there are different loopholes about this Anuman Praman that cannot be relied upon. So this is the problem, making mistakes. And there are so many different mistakes has been created by technological advances that is not pure science, and that is outcome of scientific knowledge and some tricks. So what we find that our researches, our so-called scientific advancements has created a very messy problem in our life. Now gaming gadgets, people are having whole 24/7 they are busy with games, and because of that their life has become like horrible. Their sleeplessness, computer vision syndrome, serious depression, hearing damage, obesity, loss of relationships, and whatnot. And nowadays, some 2 years before, I got the news that some people even killed themselves. Some people they got too much into playing games that they went to such an extreme. I don't know what they get into playing the games, that their heart started palpitating so fast, and then what happened? The heart failure took place. Boom, finished. So like this, there are so many cases by which we find that people they get into some something to solve, and they'll end up creating very big problem. Similarly, in some 12th century, there was a bubonic plague. Bubonic plague started in 1346 and it ended in somewhere in 1352, 1352, 52, 53. And then there's crores and crores of people they died because of plague. And when it started growing, we started spreading. Scientists or the people they started thinking that it is happening because of so many cats are there. So cats has to be killed. So people they killed all cats. So cats got killed, so many mouse, so many rats started infesting the whole Europe. And because it was coming from mouse, from the rat, and see the rats started increasing and it spread from Europe to Middle East, Russia, everywhere. People were dying like piles after piles. So like this we can see half knowledge is very dangerous, and in this way people are creating so many problems. So now let's go ahead to the next section. Then can there be any other any other solution? The whole human race having the same problem. Whole human race. Just recently, 2 years before, 2 years before, we have this knowledge that in China they were doing some research upon some virus or some mutation, and from their research, virus came out, a small little virus, and it spreads throughout whole planet. And we see a small little mistake of one person or some people or maybe one team, we have to give we have to pay toll for so many lives, so many big economic crises throughout the whole planet, so many people being fearful. So key to we want happiness, but really we do not know where to get the happiness. Key to happiness is complete knowledge, of course. So happiness means knowing things as it is. So happiness means removal of fear, right? We don't have fear, then we are happy, right? So people have so many different types of fear. So if fear is removed, then we are happy. If fear is not there, what's going to happen? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen for my life in future? So everything is known, then you don't have any fear. But we try to get knowledge from places like which is not actually going to give us perfect knowledge. That's why no matter how much we go ahead in scientific understanding and guessing things and speculating things, we cannot be happy. We cannot get the perfect knowledge through that, through Pratyaksha and Anuman Praman. So this is small little video you can see. So what we understood from this video, what we understood, without knowing about the system, if you start playing with the system, you start kidding with the system will give you very great lesson. So similarly, that's why we find that this is a universe, this is a intelligent universe, and without knowing well about this intelligent machine, which is such a such a huge universe, it's nothing like very great intelligent machine. Without knowing about this machine from the manual of machine, if we start meddling with it, then what happens? We'll have so many problems, and that's what is the situation of nowadays human being. Human being, they think that they can do anything, they can figure out anything, they can speculate anything, and they can be happy. But they cannot. Why? Because they have not read the manual of machine. They have not read manual of universe. With every machine there comes a manual, right? If you get mobile phone, you get a manual, or you get some text how to operate a mobile phone, and what are the things you have to be cautious about, what you have to take care of. Similarly, this whole universe we have got this body, we have to live into this world happily. How to operate and how to live, that's mentioned in the manual of universe, and that is the insurpassable or unlimited source of knowledge, unlimited source of knowledge about everything practically there in Vedas. So that is called Vedas. So that is called manual of universe. So now we are going to see the third way of getting knowledge, that's called Shabda Praman, hearing from bona fide authority. Just like I have this Realme smartphone. So there is someone authority of this mobile phone. Of course, I have purchased it, so I am authority for time being. But who has created? He is the bigger authority than me. He know well that what type of chip he has put, what type of how much RAM is there, and so much. All details is known by the company only, right? And company creates a manual how to operate and what are those all details are there about this phone. So similarly, this is called Shabda Praman, knowing about system from the authority through hearing or through the text. So that is called bona fide authority, knowing from hearing from bona fide authority. So now I'm just skipping this video. Lord Sri Krishna tells in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this knowledge of authority, the authoritative knowledge of this universe about the self, about the matter, about the spirit, about the supreme spirit, everything is there in Shastra, the Vedas, and that knowledge is coming down from the supreme authority, who is beyond these four defects. Who is beyond these four defects? He don't have any four defects like we do. So if we'll hear from them, and that comes in disciplic succession, Guru Shishya Parampara. So then we can understand how is that. If some child want to know who is his father, then how he can know? How he can know a child? It's usually in India everybody know who is my father, right? But in West you will find that there are so many mother and so many fathers of one single child, right? Mother who given birth has gone with someone else, and somebody is taking care of him or her. Then that mother also left, like this. So if suppose that person is with his mother, then how that person can know about his father? Yes, anybody of you can give a try giving answer here? Yes. How a small little child, if you don't know who is his father, how he can know? Yes, how he can know? So I see some of the responses. Puranjay is telling through mom, through his own mother. Subrata Sahana is telling from mother. Oh yes, of course. So from mother. So mother only. As somebody can say no, that I will do some researches. I will do DNA test. Yeah, Saurabh Gora is saying DNA test. Of course, DNA test we can do. But if you do DNA test, then how much time it will take for checking the genes and telling about the probable father of a child? Genetic fingerprint takes 800 years to identify a lot of 200 men, one of whom is likely to be your father. So it may take 800 years for just to process 200 people, 200 men, the probable aged man who could be his father, right? So for that time already that person will die. So this could not be the likely, the right way. That's this, and this process is called induction process. This data is not matching that data. So like this, this is not the best way, but the best way is deductive way of getting knowledge. Deductive way of getting knowledge means just you ask from authority. Authority of child is mother and father, of course. Father mother unites, then there is a birth of a child. So if he want to know about the Supreme Father and about everything, he learns from mother only. Okay. So similarly, Vedas are called mother. Veda Mata. Okay. God, Supreme God is Supreme Father, and Vedas only can give all types
The
of
Vedas,
knowledge.
however, are not as well known for presenting historical and scientific knowledge as they are for expounding subtle sciences such as the power of mantras. We all recognize the power of sound itself by its effects, which can be quite dramatic. Here, a high-pitched frequency shatters a drinking glass. So, we can easily understand that loud sounds can produce substantial reactions. It is commonly believed that mantras can carry hidden power, which can in turn produce profound effects. The ancient Vedic literatures are full of descriptions of weapons being called by mantra. For example, many weapons were invoked by mantra during the epic Kurukshetra war, wherein the Bhagavad Gita itself was spoken. The ancient deployment of Brahmastra weapons, equivalent to modern-day nuclear weapons, are described throughout the Vedic literatures. Additionally, mantras carry hidden spiritual power which can produce significant benefits when chanted properly. Indeed, the Vedas themselves are sound vibrations in literary form and carry a profound message.
Yes. So we see here that how the sound vibration from oral, when we hear, how much powerful it is. So there is Vedic process of learning. Just like we see our how we had schooling, then we went to college, and we have this type of getting knowledge through different institutions. Similarly, in Vedic process of learning, there are some authorized colleges that's called Sampradaya or Parampara, and professors are spiritual masters. Authorized books are Vedic texts like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and there are unlimited and vast amount of literatures that is like not nowadays is like read by so many people. But you believe it or not, Westerners, specifically the people from Germany, people from USA, Sweden, they have employed scientists and Sanskritists to decode the different sutras and different types of mantras, so that they could put them into their researches. Okay, so you know this the Great Hadron Collider in Sweden, such a huge apparatus to know about the atomic structure. You know? So they are having their different team only who having only one business to decode Vedas. But Indians are being taught that throughout Vedas, Vedas are useless and all mythology has been taught to us for hundreds of years, and that's why problem is there that our own treasure of Vedic knowledge we have forgotten it. So there is some small little slide for all of you that how Vedic knowledge is so much advanced.
University of California.
I'll just miss this. I'll send this video in the group. Like there are so many different things. So undebatable Vedic predictions. So in Vedas, about future what's going to happen, that is also mentioned. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned about Gautam Buddha to come. He came. Chanakya Pandita will appear. It's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ashok will appear. It's mentioned in Bhagavatam. Then Jesus Christ will appear in Bhavishya Puran, it's mentioned. There is separate Puran only, that's called Bhavishya Puran. in which all those people that are going to appear in future, they are mentioned. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to appear, and he appeared just 500 years before. That's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, long years before. So like this, we see Vedic knowledge is such like Vedic knowledge is authority, because Vedic knowledge is given by a person who is beyond this system. Like this is a mouse, right? I can know about this mouse everything from beyond. I'll open it and I'll see that there's light here, LED, there is a sensor out here, and there is a clicker here. So similarly, there is a person beyond this universe is able to see this universal affair, universal time cycle, like I see this mouse. Yeah. So, and the Vedas are given by that person. And who is that person? That we are going to see in tomorrow's session. Just like we have a ball, any ball like cricket ball, anything. One get all that knowledge of ball by a person who is holding it, right? Similarly, this whole universe is like being in hold of that supreme person is such a great authority, and he know everything, past, present, and future about the whole universe. And Vedas is just nothing but a written form of that knowledge, and that too is accessible to us very small little fraction. So now, how educated people were
Early
brainwashed
Indology.
by Indologists. The video will be sent to you. Now, quickly I'll go ahead. Relevance of Bhagavad Gita in today's world. US Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, what she tells. So,
Aloha and namaste. 2020 is certainly a year that will not soon be forgotten. For most, if not all of us, it has brought about many unexpected changes. The uncertainty that this year has brought has made me personally reflect upon the time that I spent deployed in the Middle East. That too was a time in my life when there was danger at every step. Each day brought new uncertainties, and likewise, many lives were lost. My shelter then and now has been the Bhagavad Gita, which means Song of God. The Bhagavad Gita spoken by Sri Krishna is full of transcendental wisdom that is as relevant today as it was 5,000 years ago when it was spoken. When we are blown here and there by the strong winds of change, when giant waves are crashing upon us, when we're feeling unsteady, lost, adrift, the Bhagavad Gita offers us guidance and hope. Looking at our problems through the prism of eternality, rather than merely identifying with our temporary material circumstances, gives us an anchor that offers great peace, purpose, and stability through even the most trying of times. May we always be blessed with remembrance of Sri Krishna.
okay, so this is a small little talk from Tulsi Gabbard. She is a congresswoman in USA, member of parliament, to understand. So she was telling that when we see things in the eternal time limit, then we could understand that how insignificant our problems are. And that universal vision of time and space we can get only from Bhagavad Gita and Vedic knowledge, and nowhere else. So why not to decode Vedic knowledge? Why not to decode Srimad Bhagavad Gita from this wonderful sessions, and thereafter all the sessions are going to come? Somebody can say that Vedas are based upon some different axioms, that it's not provable. Like soul nobody has seen, right? But even the science is also based upon many axioms. Like the whole complex theory is also based upon something called imaginary, iota. Like this, there are so many things. This is all more of scientific things. I don't want to discuss with you all. So, institutions of Vedic knowledge, we'll see, then we'll conclude. So there are three institutions of Vedic knowledge. There are three, like there are different colleges for getting knowledge. We have so many different colleges: Oxford University, this university, that university. Similarly, there are 4 universities by 4 great personalities. One university called Sri University or Sri Sampradaya. Another university is called Brahma University or Brahma Sampradaya. Third is called Rudra Sampradaya or Rudra University. and fourth is Kumar University or Kumar Sampradaya. So these four personalities having their own schools, right, in which anybody, if he will admit himself, he will get perfect knowledge. He will not get cheated, and he will get perfect knowledge for his own betterment. So these schools are still being carried by the professors in this age. In this age, for Sri University, Sri Sampradaya Ramanujacharya, for Brahma Madhvacharya, for Rudra Vishnu Swami, and Nimbarkacharya for Kumara. So they are still running those universities of Vedic knowledge. So like this Vedic knowledge is all complete, coming directly from the Supreme Lord, who is the creator, the protector, and the maintainer of this universe, and he is beyond this universe. That's why it is told, Thene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muhyanti Yata Suryaha. That spiritual knowledge and that whole knowledge about every atom of this universe has been given by the supreme creator to the secondary creator, Lord Brahma. So we find and how he is the supreme creator and how these all things are running, that we will be seeing in the next session. Okay, so I'm quickly going ahead. So this is the Vedic knowledge that was written 5,000 years before, 5,000 years ahead, 5,000 years ago by Vedas. Okay, so this Vedic knowledge is not like it was originated 5,000 years before, but this knowledge are already there. But before, people used to hear and remember everything. But what happened when Kali Yuga started 5,000 years before? Lord Sri Krishna, he incarnated Ved Vyas, and he writes down all those Vedas so that we could read it, because he was knowing that in Kali Yuga people will have less memory. So it was compiled just 5,000 years before, and then we have like this. There are different sections of Vedic knowledge. Some are Shrutis, some are Smritis, Ved, Upuved, Vedangas. Then are different sections after sections and after sections. Okay, so yes, and this knowledge what we are getting through Srila Prabhupada, who is coming from in the disciplic authority, disciplic succession of Brahmaji. You find here this disciplic succession, right way going from Narada to Brahma and to Supreme Lord Krishna. Okay, so thank you so much for all of you to joining this today's wonderful session. So we can get the full truth only by going to a person who has seen the truth. So summary, we saw in the beginning three ways of gaining knowledge: Pratyaksh, Anuman, and Shabda. Then we saw Pratyaksh Praman is Pratyaksh Praman is defective because our senses are defective. Anuman Praman we saw because we create so many mistakes. By guessing we cannot actually have knowledge, because by guessing could be so many accidents getting knowledge. In Shabda Praman we saw that there are Vedic truths and predictions which has been true, and there are every section, every department of knowledge available in the Vedas, which are there in the different universities and beyond. So there are different science which is actually mentioned in the Vedas in its full development. There is nothing called Vedas. Vedas has told this theory, and after some time Vedas were again recompiled and again rejuvenated, and again, okay, there was some amendment there. No, there is no amendment in Vedic theories, and then they are called not theories, but they are called truths. So they are always going to remain truth. So that's called Vedic truths. So we saw that the whole Vedic knowledge we can get from universities, and we saw the 4 universities, and also we saw the different we also saw the different sections of the whole Vedic body. Like there's unlimited amount of knowledge in the Vedas. So thank you so much all of you for joining today. I'm going to send a link for today's quiz. So I request all of you, please quickly just go ahead and attempt this quiz so that you will get your attendance as well. So yes, so just few seconds. Okay, so here it go. So I just sent to all of you one small little Google quiz. If you are able to see, okay. Next session will be next week Saturday. So timing will be same. Saturday it will be from 8 to 9, and Sunday it would be at the same time, from 1 to 2. So I request all of you, please go ahead and submit this quiz. There are only few questions. Put your name and city name and just attempt MCQs. Only 6 MCQs are there. Okay. And if you have any question, if you have any comment, you can write in the chat box. In the WhatsApp group. And I request all of you to please go right away to the WhatsApp group. And what you have to do, you have to write down 3 most important take-home points. 3 most important take-home points in the WhatsApp group, so that those who have attended and those who have not attended, they could also get some inspiration to attend live sessions. So please go ahead and write down some 3 take-home points. Yes. Yeah. So I request all of you, please write down in the WhatsApp groups some 3 take-home points right now, right away. Yes, I'm opening my, yes. So I see here Mantra of Life, this WhatsApp group, somebody is writing 8967133894 is writing something. So I'm able to see, let's see who is writing faster. Some 3 take-home points or 2 take-home points, whatever number of take-home points if you could write. Okay. So Vedas predicted our future thousands years ago. Mainak is writing, we can gain complete knowledge from Shabda Praman. Lord is Almighty Being. Okay, that's great. So like this, I request more of you, like whoever is there here, Akash, Bachar, in the Galaxy, Galaxy M20. So you can write down some of your take-home points. That will be great. Okay, thank you so much, all of you, for having such a great patience and going through this wonderful session. Remain tuned with us for the next session that's going to come upcoming Saturday. Thanks so much.